Oh man, the camera's making me nervous. There's sometimes blobs, and sometimes the blobs, when I take them out, they run all the way up your hair.
It's just like really not something you want to hear. Hi guys, my name's Andrea and welcome to Barbiepunk. Today we're going to talk about my hair. Because I promised one of you in the comments that the next time I dyed my hair, I would film it for you. But today is basically going to be a rundown of how I do my hair and a couple of tips that I have learned. Because if you did not know, I have had multicolored hair for about 5 years now. I definitely experimented with it in high school as well, and I have been doing it on my own for 3 of those years. I've had multiple different hair colors. If you want to check out my hair history video, I'll link it. But today we're going to talk about how I do this. This has been my go-to for a couple of months now, mostly because it's a little easier than having to change my hair every few months. It's just not going to damage my hair as much because I don't have to bleach it all the way ever. So let's go into how I do this. Every month to 2 months-ish, depending on how lazy I'm being, I will have to touch up my roots. What I've found for myself is that it's best to not get more than like an inch and a half of growth, because if you do have more than that, you're probably gonna have to do more than one bleach process, because the root closest to your head is going to bleach a lot faster than things a little bit further away from your head, and it's usually about like half an inch to maybe an inch that's gonna bleach like super duper fast. I did not film the bleaching process this time, but I do have other videos where I show that. Basically, I use L'Oreal Quick Blue bleach with 20 volume developer. I mix this with this in a 2-to-1 ratio. That specific bleach is scalp safe. If you're gonna be doing this on your own, make sure what you buy is scalp safe. I also use the Quick Blue formula because it does try its best to get rid of the yellow as it bleaches. As far as developer goes, I will not do higher than a 20 volume developer. 30 and 40 will get it lighter faster, but it's also going to damage your hair easier. And then I leave that in my hair for 40 minutes to an hour. I don't like to go over an hour because, again, I don't want to damage my hair. You really need to learn how your hair is. If you're not sure of how your hair is, you need to go to a professional. But since I've been doing this for a long time, I know what my hair can handle. I also have not washed my hair for quite a few days, so there's a lot of oils in there protecting it. If you've washed your hair recently, put some coconut oil in. Basically, during this process, my husband and I work as a team. I do the entire front of my hair, taking little sections, parting them, moving them, and he's doing the same with the back of my hair. I'm trusting that he's doing it right. I don't ever know because I never see the back of my head. 30 to 40 minutes through that process, I like to also go through and check and see how it's doing, and I have my husband take a look at the back of my hair to see if there are any spots that are not bleaching fast enough or he missed or anything like that. So we basically just go through and I spot check. And once the hour is over, no matter what, I'm gonna wash my hair out. So when I washed my hair out, it was a little orangey, yellowy, not as white as I wanted it to be. So what I do in cases like these, and hopefully you're in a situation where you can do this as well, or you don't mind the look of a blonde root, but basically what I do in these cases is I will leave my hair to be for at least 4 days, not washing it at all. It's better to wait for a week or 2 weeks, but in this case, I waited for 4 days. I conditioned the heck out of my hair, and the full day before I bleached my hair again, I had my hair drenched in coconut oil. So I did another bleach process. When I washed my hair out this time, I did not put any conditioner in because I knew that I was going to be dyeing it the same day. And your hair is more open to accepting dye if it does not have conditioner in it. So this is the part that I filmed. Basically, I show you me mixing up my 2 different dyes and the process that I go through when I actually color my hair. Here are the many colors that I use to accomplish my hair. We're gonna do a crazy mix. Basically, I'm gonna take these 2 from Pulp Riot, Nirvana, and Aquatic, mix it with this guy from Kenra to make our little blue color. I actually don't love this color, the candy color from Pulp Riot, because it's like very orange. It's a very orangey pink, and that's not 100% my vibe. And then this neon fuchsia is kind of a little purpley for me. Sometimes I'll add those just to have them, but my real holy grail is right here. It is Special Effects Atomic Pink. Sometimes I mix in a little bit of this cotton candy pink. I basically just mix it together and dilute it with just a whole bunch of conditioner. Basically what I do is I get a giant thing of whatever cheap conditioner that I like. I happen to like Pantene, so I always buy a giant thing of Pantene. And this is also a good way that you can get pastel colors. You don't have to buy a specific hair color mix-in. You can just use conditioner and that will shear out the hair color and make it more pastel. But I just use it because I can get the same vibrancy without using as much hair color, and hair color itself is so expensive that I don't want to just like smear an entire bottle of it on my hair. As far as brands that I like, it's really going to depend on what color you want to dye your hair. I have noticed that even though I really like a specific color from a specific brand, I will buy other colors from that same brand and it won't work as well. So it's a really big trial and error process. Some of my biggest recommendations are going to be Pulp Riot hair, Kenra, Special Effects, Pravana, and Manic Panic. Manic Panic is the only one that you're going to be able to get in actual beauty supply stores. They sell it at Hot Topic sometimes. It's a good all-around easy to find hair color. However, as I said, some of the colors are not as good as some of the other colors. I think the purple that I tried from there was just not as good as I wanted it to be, and I think maybe the orange as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then Pulp Riot, Kenra, Pravana, and Special Effects you're gonna have to get online. The first 3 are hairdresser exclusive brands. I like to just buy them off of Amazon or eBay, and you can get them really easy without having to have a license for them. And then Special Effects has its own website that you can order from. So my all-time go-to for pink is Special Effects Atomic Pink, and you're gonna see that in the clip, but basically it will stain my hair, and it takes like some good long bleaching for it to get out of my hair. So when my hair has been washed and washed and washed for months, the blue will be gone, but the pink still there. Like pastel, but still there. So basically what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna mix my conditioner with just a random assortment of colors that I happen to have. So we have Nirvana right there is the biggest blob, then the glittery one is the neon blue Kenra, and then Aquatic is that kind of turquoisey color off to the side. This is hard to mix and film at the same time. See how orange that one is? So that orange one right in the middle there is the candy from Pulp Riot, then the glittery one again is Kenra. We have that light pink that's cupcake pink, and the majority of it obviously is my favorite Special Effects Atomic Pink. Here are our 2 colors. Honestly, I could easily have just gone with Special Effects to get basically this color, but I do still have extras of other ones, so I like to customize it a little bit. What you're gonna see me doing next is I'm gonna again divide my hair into 2. I think I explained this in the clip, but I have my husband do the roots all throughout the back of my hair. So he's just gonna go through and make sure the roots are gotten because I can't see back there. So what I do is I split my hair into front and back. I will deal with the front later, And I have my handy dandy helper right here do the back of my hair. I also have a shirt here that's gonna serve as my rag in between like colors. So basically every time I switch between blue and pink, I'm gonna wipe on this little rag shirt. So basically all Mike is gonna be doing is using this blue here. I give him the same instructions every time, which is to get as small of an amount of roots as possible, because I can always add more, but I can't add less. So I'm gonna ask him to go for maybe like an inch all the way around along my roots in the back, just because I can't see it. And then once I get to the front of my hair, I'll be able to do it all myself. So if he just does just the blue, just the roots in the back while I sit here awkwardly. Oh, I guess I should tell you what he's doing here too. Basically, he's gonna be going in little like 1-inch sections just through the back of my hair to make sure he gets all of the roots. And then I'm gonna go through and blend between the blue and the pink. It's a very strange process that I go through, but I am gonna explain it in the clip. Now that Mike has done all of this, basically I'm gonna go back in sections, utilizing my little rag guy. So we start by adding pink to the bottom here, right? Because that's where we want most saturation of the pink. And I like to bring it pretty high up, and then I will go back in with my blue. Sometimes I just use my hands. Really make sure it's gotten the roots, and then I just kind of drag it downward so that in the middle here it fades from blue to purple down to pink. Color theory is going to be pretty important when you decide to dye your hair. I'm sure that most of you watching aren't going to dye your hair specifically these colors. So when you do decide what colors you want in your hair, you're going to kind of have to think about it in kind of a color theory sort of way. I have chosen colors that blend nicely into one another. This is sort of a blue toned pink, so it goes from blue, together they make purple, and then at the bottom there is a pink. So they're all kind of on the same area of a color wheel if we were looking at that. If you wanted to go from like red to green or something like that, you would have to probably add a third color of yellow in between. And it's the easiest to go from one primary color to another primary color. So if you go from blue to yellow, it's going to make green in between. But if you want to go from green to purple, technically blue is in between, but when you mix green and purple, it's not necessarily going to make blue on its own. So you will have to get that third dye and have a chunk of blue in there. What I'm trying to say is, if you go from one primary color to another, they will make the secondary color on their own. But if you want to go from a secondary color to a different secondary color, you're going to have to buy a third hair dye to help that transition better. And then I section off the top of my hair little bits at a time. Again, first going through the roots and then making sure that it's nice and blended. I've taken another section down and we're gonna go again with the blue. Why do I do roots and then bottom and then meet in the middle instead of just doing fully top to bottom or fully bottom to top? Because it's really hard to part once you get like globs of hair dye in the rest of your hair. So you really have to do your roots first to make sure you get good coverage on them. And then at this point, why don't I just go straight top to bottom? And that's because I want the bottoms of my hair to have the most pink pigment. So instead of trying to blend at the very beginning, we're gonna get all of our pink coverage first, and then I go back over this part with blue. So like whatever color you place down first is going to be the most dominant color. And so in the purple, I want it to be a pinkier purple. So the blue that lays on top of it isn't going to saturate the strands as much as the pink already has. Blend downward into the pink. And I always use kind of my ear as a guideline for how long I want the blue to be, so that underneath and on top it's kind of a similar length.
I really like to massage the color in for a long time, just to make sure it's gotten all the strands on the inside.
I always make sure to have a longer streak of pink right in the front. I don't know why. I think it frames my face nicely, but underneath that you'll see that, again, I try my best to end it all right around the ear.
What time is it? It's 12:30. So I wait for at least half an hour. Sometimes I wait for like an hour, 2 hours, depending on how I'm feeling.
So I wait at least 30 minutes. This particular time I waited an hour.
It is 1:30. We're gonna wash this out.
Look, you're supposed to wash your hair with cold water, but I don't play that game, okay? Especially with this color pink, I don't have to, but with certain colors and certain brands and dyes, you're going to have to take cold showers because they will wash out. When I take my first shower, I will rinse out all of the dye until the water runs clear. I will condition my hair one more time and exit. I do not shampoo my hair for at least 3 days after I color my hair because I find that it really will cement the color in if I don't shampoo it that first day. And then as far as hair care goes past the first week, you're going to have to try to wash your hair as little as possible, and if you can stand it, wash your hair in as cold of water as possible. Again, I don't play that game. I like to have a warm shower, and I'm gonna live my life comfortably because I'm almost damn 30. If you have any more questions, let me know in the comments and I would be happy to answer them for you. I like having just conversations in general in the comments, so if you have anything that you need to ask me about my hair or about my life or my day, you know, just ask me and we'll talk about it below. I also should be telling you that I post videos on Tuesdays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to see my face, that's the best time to look for a video from me. Don't forget to like it, subscribe it, share it, bop it, twist it, pass it, and don't ask questions, just go with it.